Today is the 28th Sunday of Ordinary Time Cycle Day. The first reading is from the Book of Wisdom. In Hebrew, wisdom is a feminine word, and therefore wisdom is referred to as her rather than it. Today's reading is a reflection by Solomon on his prayers when he was a young man who became king and was overwhelmed by the responsibilities of being in charge of a large kingdom he inherited from his father David. While royalty was associated with riches and priceless gems, gold and silver, Solomon did not ask God for any of these things because for him they were like sand and mud compared to wisdom. Wisdom is the brightest of all the lights and allows us to put the will of God before the desires of humanity. What do you pray for? Most people, except those engaged in spiritual warfare against the forces of evil or read to pass an exam, usually pray for things: house, a car, a job, money, health, a new boyfriend or girlfriend. Rarely do people pray for wisdom, which enables us to seek prudence, patience, compassion, mercy, and understanding. Although Solomon only prayed for wisdom, he received many material blessings. In Jesus' time, the belief was that wealth was a blessing from God, and therefore the wealthy must be somehow holy. Adding to this erroneous belief was the fact that most of the chief priests and the elders were usually rich men. Jesus loved the young man and was pleased to know that he had kept all the commandments from a very young age. And he wanted to do more. So Jesus asked him to go and sell all of his property, give the proceeds to the poor, and then come and be one of his disciples. But the young man could not do it. He was very wealthy, and he just could not part with his material possessions. Jesus also wants us to do more. He calls us to attend Mass every Sunday and to enter in a deeper relationship with Him. He also wants us to be involved in a ministry in the church. His demand is the demand of 2 hours more a week with a ministry too burdensome for you. With wealth comes power. Power can be used for the good of the community, to build water wells, shelter for the homeless, to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, etc. But also can be misused to satisfy one's selfish desires. big house, an expensive car, designer clothes and jewelry, etc., etc. Money and power also have the ability to attract what I would call gold diggers, who will tempt you with their sexy bodies and give up some of your money to them. Money can also be used to fuel our immoral desires, such as lust for the spouse of another. Jesus uses the Semitic hyperbole of the impossibility of a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven by himself. It is as impossible for a real camel to pass through the eye of a real needle. You know, there's a minority interpretation on this. Biblical is some, few, so yes, and that a needle may have been a small opening in the wall which was designed for passage of only individuals, and not a camel laden with goods. Either understanding suggests that without God's help, the rich cannot enter into heaven. The greater your wealth, the greater is your responsibility to help others, to help the poor. And the more you have in wealth, the more you will have to depend on God for guidance and salvation. Peter was worried that if the rich who he thought was blessed could not enter heaven by themselves, what would happen to him and the disciples who were materially poor? Jesus reminds us that true wealth is love between family and friends. If we live as brothers and sisters in Christ, we shall have great wealth, lots of family, and true